All right, this is the last set of questions. This has to do with interest rates, and we give you this formula, which I'm not going to make you memorize this. We'll give it to you on the test. If it's not on the board, please remind me, and I'll put it up there. But here's what the variables mean. Future value. That means the value at the end of a loan or at the end of an investment. So if I put in $500 into a savings account, the future value is how much that will be in the future. All right. PV, the present value, that's basically the starting point. So if I put $500 into a savings account, that $500 is the beginning. So I think of these as this is the start, this is the end. R is the rate, the annual percentage rate. You may have heard this as still as an APR. If you watch car commercials, they say for 2.7% APR, that's annual percentage rate. That's how much interest you will pay in a year. N is the number of months compounded. Now, let's not worry about what the word compounded means. It's basically what you need to think is how many times are they doing it every year. So if you do it monthly, well, there are 12 months in a year, so you do it 12 times in a year. That's 12. The N value is 12. If you do it once a year, well, N is 1. If you do it 45 times a year, compound 45 times a year, that's N is 45. All right. Last but not least, T. T is time. And to remember, time is always in years. Okay, time is always in years. So if you do it for 18 months is a year and a half, so 1.5 years. If you do it over 36 months is 3 full years. That's 3 groupings of 12. All right, so a lot of this, but other than that, this is plug and play. Plug it into the equation, chug it out. But that's what the variable means. We've got the start, that's PV, stop, FV, your rate, the number of times compounded, and the time. All right? So here we go. Number 32. If you invest $2,000 at 3.5% compounded monthly, how much money would you have at the end of 10 years? Okay, so we need a future value, a present value. So if you invest $2,000, well, that's my initial point. That's my present value is $2,000 at 3.5% interest. So that's my rate. Rate is your interest. And I'll go ahead and move it twice, turn it into a decimal. It has to be used as a decimal. Okay? And it says compounded monthly. Well, if you do something monthly, how many months are in the year? 12. Therefore, you do it 12 times in a year. And then our time. Well, how much money would you have after 10 years? All right. So, fill in your equation. FV equals PV is 2,000. 1 plus 0.035 divided by 12 to the 12 times 10. And you can put that in your calculator just like that. You stick all that in your calculator, you get $2,836.69. So, if I gave $2,000 to start off with, rate of 35.35 divided by 12, and raise it to the 12 times 10, that's what I get right there. That's how much money I would make after 10 years. I'd make an additional $836. All right? This works the same way if you're borrowing money. So try number 33 on your own if you're feeling so bold. But number 33, same idea. You've got a future value, a present value, an N value, an R, an N, and a T. So if you borrowed $3,275, again, that's how much we're starting with, $3,275 at 6.5% interest. Remember, move the decimal, so it's 0.065. Compounded monthly, so it's 12 times a year. How much would you owe at the end of 7 years? So just like before, try and pause this if you want to fill out the equation first. Try and fill out the equation on your own. So here we go. Future value equals 3275 times 1 plus 0.065 divided by 12 to the n times t, which is 12 times 7. And again, you can either put this in your calculator in a bunch of little chunks, like just calculate this part, hit enter, then raise it to the 12 times 7, then multiply it by 3275. That's fine. Or you can put it in all at once. And if you calculate that out, you get a future value of 5155 point, what did the calculator say? 63.63. So after 7 years, if you borrow that much money for 7 years, that's how much you will owe at the end of 7 years. All right. The last two questions on this page operate the exact same manner. They're just asking you to find the starting point, the present value, instead of the future value. So, we move up to there real quick. Same thing is true for all of this. So, number 34, if you're trying to save up to buy a $5,000 car in 6 years, how much money would you need to invest at 8.3% interest compounded monthly? So, we want a $5,000 car. So, my future value, oh wow, interesting, I did that in boxes. So, I want a future value of $5,000. They want to know how much do I need to invest to make that work. So my rate is 0.085. Remember, use it as a decimal. My n, again, is monthly, so 12. And my time is 6, because it's 6 years. And we'll fill everything in. So 5,000 equals my present value, that's your starting point, 1 plus 0.08, what was it again, 85, divided by 12, raised to the 12 times 6. Remember, it's n times t. And we're going to shove just this part to the right in the calculator. Okay? So we're going to get 5, again, helps if I use the right marker. We're going to use 5,000 equals PV. And all that multiplies out to 1.6623. Now we're trying to get down to PV. All of that stuff is multiplying the PV, so I need to divide by 1.6623. So 5,000 divided by 1.6623, we get 3,007.88 cents. So present value equals $3,007.88. So bottom line is this: if I want $5,000 in 6 years, I want to put away just over $3,000 at 8% in order to have $5,000. Okay, if I can put away $3,000, I can have $5,000 in 6 years. Number 35 is the exact same thing, just different numbers. If you're so bold, give it a shot. But if after 4.5 years you owed $7,000, how much did you initially borrow? Which, that's a key word, initially borrow. That tells you, ooh, we don't know the starting point if you're paying 3.5% interest compounded monthly. So, if I owed, so my future value is going to be $7,000. I don't know the present value. My interest rate is 3.5%, so move the decimal, 0.035. It says compounded monthly. Monthly would mean 12 times in a year. And 4.5 years, that's 4.5 years. So time equals 4.5, which 4.5 years is what? 48 plus 6, that's 54. That would be 54 months. So, I mean, you're not going to come across it on the test, but if it says 54 months, that's 4.5 years. You have to translate it into that. So plug it all in. FV equals PV, so 7,000, equals the present value times 1 plus, is it 0.035 divided by 12. Is it 0.035? Yes, 0.035 divided by 12 to the 12 times 4.5. Alright, and just like last time, we're going to crunch everything on the right and see what we get. We get 7,000 equals the present value times 1.17? 1.17. 1.1703. So we'll divide by that. Divide by 1.1703. So the present value is going to equal 7,000 divided by 1.1703. 5981.37. 5981.37. So, if I owe $7,000 in 4.5 years, and I had a 35% interest rate, that means I initially borrowed $5,981.37.